Cool. This hangout on air is live. It's Alicia Stringer here, always empowering success dreams. And I hope you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, put in the comments below or on the Millionaire Mindset Hangout.com. And I am out here in Nashville, and I'm so excited to have our special guest, Kat, and she is in Costa Rica. And I'm so excited. We first met, I want to say, probably was in Houston, I think. We went on this event with our team and talking about money mindset. And were you there, Kat? I don't remember.
I think we met in Austin. I think.
Is it Austin?
Because our first event
it's
was
been a
San
while.
Diego, and then it was Austin, and then after that we saw each other. But it's been a long time. It's been a couple of years, I think, for sure.
Yes. And I've always been inspired on, her story with her husband and them being able to just decide that they're just going to create this free lifestyle and just move to Costa Rica with, not even having much plan or whatever to it, just saying, we're sick of our jobs. We're just going to go and live where we want to live. And I think that's empowering when people make those decisions and find a way to make it work. And here I am on my journey again. I want to try to move here pretty soon as well, because I've decided to. I'm just going to make it happen. So I'm excited to hear some of her insights and how she used her millionaire mindset to create the lifestyle she wants to create and continue to keep success. And I think that's what a lot of people are looking for. How do you find it and then be consistent with it? So we're supposed to have out here Keisha as well. Hopefully will jump back on and we'll introduce her when she jumps back on. She's in Philly and she has a son that's the same age as my daughter. So it's fun as we do different things and seeing how they grow and we grow together. And I know Kat probably has a couple kids as well. So we're excited to be mompreneurs out here and share with you the lifestyle. So Kat, introduce yourself and share with us a little bit about yourself. And that's what we're here to find out, is how you use the millionaire mindset to create your biggest month ever or whatever you've been able to create in your business.
Thank you, Alicia, so much. I do have kids, but they're furry.
Love it.
I have 6 furry kids. So we have cats. We have a lot of cats. It's just me and Romeo. But actually, funny enough, this is actually one of the reasons also we decided to kind of change our whole lifestyle. Because, we live in Costa Rica now, and we were really massively influenced by the 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. I know a lot of people have read that. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend you read it, because it really was like a huge catalyst. And pretty much, we were living in Toronto, near Toronto, together for over 11 years at that point. And Romeo was working as a fast food manager for 11 years. And I mean, if you've ever worked in restaurants or fast food or anything, there's no time. And it's really hard work. Like, he worked over a grill. He was like the manager there. He had no time. He was there like 10, 12-hour days. And this was our life for many years. Meanwhile, for me, I wanted to get him out of his job. And, I went to school for history. And I had just a string of different jobs. I tried different things, and it's I felt really lost. I worked in retail, I worked in a call center, I even did door-to-door sales for a while. I became a personal trainer because I liked it, but there was still something missing, right? And one of the huge things that really impacted me a lot from the 4-Hour Workweek, which we were kind of looking for, because we already had this idea that, we knew that the only path there was actually a moment in our life when I told Romeo, I'm like, you know what, these jobs and everything is just not working out. And it's it wasn't necessarily that I was bad at them. The funny thing is I was good at them, and they kept promoting me in different areas, in the call center, and I didn't want it. It's I didn't see the point to it, and maybe I had a little bit of a problem with authority. And I knew kind of inside, because I watched my dad be an entrepreneur growing up. So I had that kind of entrepreneurial spirit, but I didn't really know it, and I didn't really embrace it fully. I didn't have the confidence to embrace it. But I knew that there was an answer there. I knew owning a business was an answer. But at the same time, I also knew, because Romeo was running someone else's business. He was managing someone else's franchise business. So, he got kind of the inner workings of a small business, but he was still running someone else's dream, right? He was working for someone else's dream. And so we knew the potential in it, but at the same time, we knew also that it could be very time consuming, and that was still something important to us. So when we read the 4-Hour Work Week, we were like, well, this is amazing because we can actually create a business, right? But we can also create it based on things that we want, like more time freedom, like being location independent where we could travel. And so we got online, and that's kind of how our journey started. We've been now kind of traveling and like living on and off in Costa Rica for almost 4 years, adopting 6 kittens and just living out here, right? And yeah, and you know, the consistency really, like, this is something that you know, because I'm like obsessed with anything to do with personal development, with mindset, with reading, with audios, with following successful people, with plugging in with like this amazing community that we're in. Like we were just saying with Alicia, like we met a couple of years ago at an event, and there's a reason for that. It's because there are other successful people there that we want to be around to learn from. And it doesn't matter, you know, where we are in our journey. It's just it's an amazing part of the journey, because I can tell you that aside from maybe a few close people, there was very few people in my life before that were supportive of my dreams, right? It was one of those things where I didn't want to share because I thought, you know, because I was called kind of crazy, I was called this crazy dreamer, so I stopped sharing, but I also kind of didn't believe in my dreams either, which wasn't a good thing, because I was a dreamer, but I thought it was a bad thing. You know, this whole idea of like, just, you know, settle. Why can't you just settle into the reality that everybody else has kind of accepted? Why can't you accept it? So I thought there was something wrong with me. Lo and behold, you know, we kind of come across Tim Ferriss, and he's talking about all these amazing, crazy things he's doing. And then from there, we got into this community of people that are all following their dreams. And, you know, people that have done incredible things. And I was like, well, you know, wow, like this is amazing. These people exist. And that's kind of what makes it more real, right? So one thing that we've really done, you know, the past 4 years, and there have been challenges, there are challenges, like going on this entrepreneurial journey, there will be times when you're going to be hit with challenges that are going to be hard, and it's just part of the game, it's part of the growth process, because I've had to let go of a lot of stuff from before. Like I mentioned, I lacked confidence and things like that, and that was something I had to kind of go through. Like I had to build up this belief in myself. And, you know, the one thing we've done is no matter what point we were at, I've always stayed consistent to my vision, to my dream. You know, sometimes the actions may change, right? You might have to try new things in your business. You might have to change things up. You might have to, you know, experiment with different ways of thinking, with, you know, different kinds of routines, different kinds of things like that, right? Different habits. But the vision is there. It's always there. It's always pulling me. And even in those moments when it's been really hard, right, I've always asked, you know, would I stop? No, I can't. Like it's like an impossibility. I can't stop because my vision, I know, is going to come true. No matter how long it takes, no matter what we have to go through, it's worth it. And, you know, every point in our life, it's been worth it, and it continues to be worth it, right? I mean, it's only been a few years, and we've been able to do all these awesome things, and it's just going to continue to go down that path. Like, yeah, I mean, it's still kind of amazing to me, but we did just have our biggest month. We made close to 20K in sales online, and it's just this, like, it's amazing. Like, I have to kind of pinch myself, right? But I know it's because of us kind of staying consistent and continuing to believe in our dreams. You know, even if people told us we're crazy, even through everything. And it's thanks to things like this community. It's thanks to finding a support system. It's thanks to having people kind of believe in you and uplift you when you need it, right? It's thanks to seeing other people on their journey that are ahead, right? That maybe have already accomplished certain things you want to accomplish, and they've done it. Just that in itself makes it real, right? And it's always one of those things where I'm like, well, if that person can do it, there's no reason really that I can't. If there's a reason I can't, it's something that I've made up in my own mind, right? It's something I just need to let go of myself, but it doesn't mean it's not possible. So, yeah, I don't know, I just kind of go into like tangents, so I don't know how we're going to keep going. I started talking fast. I had a lot of coffee already, so.
You're perfect, girl. Keisha, you want to come out and introduce yourself and have any questions for Kat?
Sure. Welcome. I'm glad to be here. Kat,
Hi,
I'm so
Keisha.
happy to see you. Hi.
Keisha, I had a dream about you.
Thank you. We love each other.
I will tell you about it another time.
Okay. Okay. We'll see each other, right? So, guys,
Maybe
I'm
Keisha's busy. She's
I'm
maybe
so
she's there, but
excited.
she's kind of doing stuff.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Just
So
kind
I'm
of
so
dropped that
very
a little
excited
bit
that
in
you're
there.
here with us, Kat. I don't know if Alicia asked because I got on a little late. Of course, I'm here from Philly.
So I don't
Everyone knows I'm
know
a mompreneur. And Kat, did you share with us already
to talk.
that major breakthrough, Kat?
I can go into like awkward silence for like a really long time.
Oh, can you hear me? Alicia, can you
So I
hear
think Alicia's typing.
Yes, I can hear.
me? So is Kat's connection? Kat, is your connection okay?
Is Keisha there?
Oh, you can't hear Keisha, Kat?
No, I can't hear her.
Okay. I forgot what question she asked.
I was
Kat was
asking
still.
if you asked what was the pivotal point.
No, I don't know why I can't hear her. I can only hear you.
So
That's
what was the
crazy.
pivotal point in creating your biggest month and success? Do you know what that shift was, what that exact moment was that created that shift from how you created that biggest month that you've ever had?
There was definitely a huge shift that I've gone through this year. It was a few months ago. I had gotten to a point where I've been working on myself and working on personal development for some time, but I don't know. There was just a very distinct point where I started to be. I know it kind of sounds weird because when we first initially set out, right, when we made the decision to kind of go for it, I had to be really open to possibility, but I was also really afraid, right? And I was really scared, and that was kind of one of the things that I knew I had to face, like I had to face my fears. But this time, it's kind of like, it's funny because as you go in the journey, we can also make certain beliefs true, right? And I had made certain things true that didn't have to be true anymore. And one of them was that I had to keep facing fears, right? It was kind of like this thing, and it's kind of funny how you do create a reality, right? And I kind of realized that it was this funny moment where I didn't really, in terms of like the things that we had done and all of the things that I've experienced, knowing that that we can really do what we set out to do because we have done so many awesome things, I realized that I didn't have to have this mentality of kind of pushing, right? Like kind of like trying to push constantly and constantly push through fears and constantly kind of challenge myself in that way. I had kind of built up this belief that I had to. And, it's not really about not going for the challenges or not going for the fears, but I had made it so real that it's almost like I kind of created this struggle that I didn't have to go through anymore. And I hope it's making sense, but it's like in this mindset of constantly trying to go and challenge myself, right, I would create kind of unnecessary struggle that I didn't really need. And so I had a moment where I kind of realized that, and I was like, well, it doesn't actually have to be like this. Things can actually be easier. Things can actually flow even more, and I can still continue to grow and still continue to go through my own personal development, right? And I kind of let it go, and I started to really focus in on purely, like, it's kind of like I started doing affirmations, actually. And it's funny because my mom was recommending something to me for a while, and I was kind of like not listening. I was doing other things. And she recommended to me The Power by Louise Hay. Rhonda Byrne. Rhonda Byrne wrote The Secret, so probably a lot of people have heard of that. She wrote a book called The Power, and it's about love. And it kind of led me to someone else, Louise Hay. And I had kind of gotten to the point where maybe, like as I'm saying with these challenges, I overcomplicated things a little too much, right? Things were a little too complex. So bringing it down to its basic, right? What is love really? It's not really just about relationships. It's kind of about that thing that we all have inside of ourselves, where it's this energy, where it's like this energy you can tap into that's even greater than a feeling, right? And it's this, it's almost like this surrender to it. And when I started to do that, when I started to see, it doesn't necessarily have to be this way with all these challenges and things like that, which I can overcome, I can actually have it kind of more in like a way of ease and flow. And it's so weird because I haven't actually fully explained this before. But it's kind of funny because I learned like through talking, and I realized that this is what happened. And so I gave in. Like I gave in to it being easier than I thought it was. Like I thought it was harder. And as soon as that started happening, I started to really just continue to focus in on kind of creating a new set of beliefs, right? Letting go of these old beliefs about this like challenge and all these things and kind of struggling through things. And I focused on things that I loved. I focused on ways that I really loved my business. I focused a lot more on the things I love in my business. And I just started to focus on that. I started to focus on what I love about people, what I love about myself, what I love about everything, right? And gratitude as well is a huge part of that. And things just started to shift and change. It's like literally, because it always starts internally, right? But internally, this was happening, and all of a sudden things around me started to shift, and things got easier. People would come in that were different than what I was used to in a way, I guess. People that were even more loving, people that were even more supportive, people that were already in my life became more loving and supportive, which just begs the question: weren't they always that way, and was it just the way that I perceived things, right? Mm-hmm. And either way, though, it was my own energy shift that created that, and then it just continued and it snowballed, and then all of a sudden, everything got easier, and our business started to flow even more, and more amazing people came into our business, and it's like this. It's that ball in Indiana Jones. It starts rolling, and you can't even stop it anymore. It's like that, and it's really just that, and it is simple, and it is basic, and I think that's one of the reasons I didn't want to accept it before, because I had made things so complicated. So I know it's a really long way of answering it, and I'm not so eloquently describing it, but I hope that kind of describes it, because it is a shift that I've gone through over the past maybe just 3 or 4 months, and now it's really showing even more. It's kind of like I already felt it inside, but now it's showing a lot more in reality, and people are noticing.
Nice. Can you hear me, Kat? Still can't hear me?
So I don't know if Keisha is talking.
I'm gonna log out and come back in, because I want you to hear me, because that really was powerful. So Alicia, please share with her that it's powerful. I wanted to just touch on this book that I'm reading right now that touched on that. So I'll be right back, guys.
Cool. She said it was very powerful. She's going to try to fix her connection so she can hear you, because she was reading No Excuses or something by Dr. Dreyer. So tell us, I know you guys started maybe a gratitude journal. Maybe what are some daily activities or habits or something that you guys have done that has helped you create this shift that you've gone through? Or maybe you recommend and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I recommend, I reading, or I was actually listening to The Power by Rhonda Byrne through an audio, and I really recommend the audio. It's an amazing audio. It has it's like an experience. There's like background music and like sound effects. I listened to that audio every single day for at least like 3 months straight. Every single day, no fail. Like we had it playing constantly here, and it just kind of like embedding these things of these pretty simple concepts, right? But on repeat, like constantly on repeat. And then, I started a gratitude journal that I made sure that I write in every single day. I have a little one too, and I've written in it, and it's like full now. So this little one, and I have my like affirmation cards here that I read. And like one of them is, I am open and receptive to all the good and abundance in the universe. And it's very simple, but it's funny because as I was doing them, there's certain points where I would get very emotional. So it's almost like you kind of know where your blocks are. When you start to do affirmations, because I used to think like, oh, what are affirmations? You're just repeating something, but if you know it's not true, then what is it really doing? But it's not really that. An affirmation is is just a thought. It's just a thought that you're choosing consciously to say, right? And we have affirmations all day running in our head. It's just that they're on autopilot and we don't even really realize it. And I think there was a part of me still that thought that maybe I couldn't control or direct most of those thoughts. And I've realized that that's not true. It does take effort, though. It does take focus. It's like a daily practice, but everything is shifting with me doing that. So, doing the gratitude journal is probably the #1 thing that I have stuck to and I have continued to do, and listening to audios. So for me, it was listening to Rhonda Burns' The Power, and then now also listening to Louise Hay. She owns Hay House, right? She started the company Hay House Publishing, and they publish all the books like Esther and Jerry Hicks and those kinds. And she has an audio series. It's like a meditation series. You can heal your life, and it's just affirmations. And I would go for walks and I just listen to it. So it's like literally hours of like just it playing. Whatever you're doing, like I would just have it running. And it's like, it's funny because you hear certain things at certain moments, right? So I'd have moments where like I would start crying uncontrollably, right? And it's like, I don't know what's happening, but I'll go with it. And I think a lot of the time, maybe sometimes we try to suppress feelings like that when we get angry or sad, because we think, well, no, I'm supposed to be positive. But that's actually a release. It's a release of things that maybe you're building up, and it's a great way to see, what is it here that I actually believe that maybe isn't serving me anymore. And that's how I discovered things about myself that maybe I had to let go of, like this idea of challenge or struggle or kind of like pushing through stuff. And I just let go of it. And I continued to say these things until they became true, and now they feel true. That's the one thing. It's like maybe sometimes when you do affirmations, or when I would think to do them before, I was like, well, this doesn't feel true. I can't really say it, right? But it does take that daily kind of practice to discover how to make it true and to discover what you're holding on to that's not making it true and to let it go. So that's the 2 things I really recommend that I do every single day that have helped me.
Can you hear me, Kat? Still can't hear me.
I still can't hear Keisha. I don't know if she's talking. For me, it's like silence. So it's like I don't know if there's just silence, and then I start talking.
Yeah, I don't know. Our viewers are saying that they can hear me, so I'm not sure what. But I did want to share that I'm reading this book by the late Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. And it's called Excuses Be Gone. And in the first chapter, he's talking about mind viruses and how these limiting thoughts and beliefs that have been put into our mind by other people, our family, our friends that have influenced us. And now we have these thoughts in our mind and things like the struggles that we think we should have and things to believe that we're a particular way when we really don't have to be that way. And it's just powerful that Kat is talking about. That's where that transformation came from. That's the transformation she had, and this mindset shift that she had was related to not believing those things and changing that mindset, changing that paradigm, changing her perceptions about herself. I just think that's really, really powerful. It's perfect timing that Kat is sharing that with me right now because it's confirmation of what I'm, reading here. So thank you, Kat, for sharing that.
Kat, she wanted to appreciate you sharing that because she had that same confirmation in the book. Hold up that book again, Keisha, so everybody can see, by Dr. Wayne Dyer, that Excuses. Everybody see it? How to Change Your Thoughts. Excuses Be Gone. That's what it's called. And she had, it shares how you have limited thoughts and beliefs by other people who have influenced others. And there's this struggle that we have when other people have influenced us a certain way in order to change that. And so that's a powerful transformation that you had, and also that we learn from in order to change ourselves, to eliminate those influences and to make it our own. Just like you were, like, you just have that suppressed feelings and those different releases, and finding that influence is not serving you anymore, how you have to get past that. So those are some very powerful transformations that you have to be aware of yourself in order to understand what you need to release, what you need to let go of. And
you read some of the comments from our guests, so because if I do it, she's not going to hear me.
Okay, some of the comments say that we've got lots of people on. So glad you guys are here. 20K a month. Congrats, Kat. Very encouraging. Thanks for that. I can hear Keisha. Poor thing. Excellent discussion in the shift of mindset over the 3 to 4 month period. And Shakira, I think, is on here, and she can hear all three of us. So thank you, Shakira, for all your comments back. It's very helpful. Any last questions, Keisha, you can think of? I know it's so sad that she can't hear Keisha.
Well, I know Valerie also likes to, for our viewers' sake, if Shakira says mind viruses, yuck, I'm working on getting rid of hers. Powerful, Shakira. It's going to make all the difference. We know that. But Kat spoke about the affirmations she does daily when she's walking or playing it, and she also gave us some good recommendations for books. But is there other things that she do, daily rituals that she does regarding her personal development?
Yes, while you were gone, she did say that.
Okay, all right. No problem.
Keisha's missing part of it, and Kat's missing part of it. This is tough.
Me and Kat have to look up
so funny.
Look up Kat.
It's all going to come together.
I'm going to go back and watch it, Keisha. I got to hear what you said.
I know. Y'all both have to watch the replay. We all do. We kind of come another powerful transformation when we hear ourselves back. And I always think that's always a new enlightening to me when I find powerful books that you put in your own voice and you hear it back and you find your own dialect or tonality that you're using. It always helps you learn it a lot better and stronger. So I've kind of taken that practice as well, going, I'm going to have to record my voice reading a book or something like that to make it another shift inside of me. Can you explain more of what are some things that people can do to I guess share more of how they can be connected with the team and how all this kind of puts together and the things that we're doing?
Well, like as I was saying in the beginning, I mean, this community of because we're a community of online entrepreneurs from all over the world, right? And we support each other. We're bloggers. We're online marketers. You know, some people are from a network marketing background. I actually I started with, this company and the system that we use, and I didn't have that background. I just came in through more of an affiliate marketing standpoint. But, either way, however it is that you're doing this, if you're trying to build a business online or offline, whichever way you're trying to do it, or if you want to, I would really not recommend to go it alone. Going it alone can be a tough thing, and I think that that's what leads to a lot of people kind of leads them to stopping. Things can get hard, right? And it's thanks to things like this, like being able to plug in with Hangouts, being able to plug in with people in like a Facebook community that have kept me going, that have kept me, continuing to believe in myself. And so I think that if you're here, if you're watching this, I don't believe in coincidences. People are always, you're always getting kind of your next, because I believe that everyone has a vision and a dream, and if you don't know what yours is yet, that's okay. You can ask, and you can start asking the question, what do I want? What is my dream? That's where I started, and I couldn't answer that question for a long time, but I kept asking it. Once you get to that point where you kind of, know what your dream is, and you know kind of what you want, and the thing is that it's also being open to directly what is happening to you or around you right now. And because people, you have this big dream kind of out there. It's like the sun, right? The sun is always there. It's always pulling you. It's always there in the background. But bringing it back to here, there's always a next step, always. No matter where you are, no matter what situation you're in, no matter what challenge you're facing, there's always a step next. And it can be as simple as, what can I do next? Maybe it's to go for a walk. Maybe it's pick up this book that I just heard about on this Hangout and read this book. Maybe it's listen to an audio. Maybe it's clicking the button below and joining us in the community and getting started in your business online. Maybe it's joining the community because you have been trying to go it alone and this is your next step, right? Maybe it's, you know, finding other ways to build a business that are actually easier because there are easier ways to build a business online. Whatever it is, your intuition will tell you. And you know, the thing is that it can feel uncomfortable. That's okay. That uncomfortable feeling is part of it. Because a lot of people kind of run away from that. Maybe they get a little too afraid. But that's your comfort zone. Stepping out a little bit outside of your comfort zone is where the next step is, because how do you expect to create anything new in your life if you're not willing to experience something new? Like, this is that one of those funny things about us where maybe we want to change, maybe we want to change our circumstances, maybe we want to change the state of our business or the state of our mindset, and maybe there's something staring us in the face, but we don't want to do it because it doesn't necessarily feel so good and amazing right off the bat. You start to feel good as you do it. Action is always the next thing. There's always an action step that's next. It's just a matter of how long you're going to wait to take that step. That step won't disappear, though. This is the funny thing. A step can be in front of you for years before you actually take the step, but it's up to you how much time you want to wait. And this is a huge thing for me, because for me, for years, I felt like I was waiting. You know, I was waiting to live my dreams. I was waiting to become more confident. I was waiting to finally feel good about myself and my life for years. And time just keeps passing. Like, this is life, right? And I kind of knew what the next step was, right? Was to actually ask myself new questions and reach out for something. But it was a long time before I did it, right? Maybe I could have been living this life for much longer, right? Maybe been ahead to a certain point. And that's fine, right? It's okay to be where you are now, but accept the next step. And that's what makes it not overwhelming. That's what makes it doable right now. It's just a baby step, right? It's one baby step. And then when you take that step, you have another step. And so all of us will have something. You will have, like, the thing is, intuition is also experience-based. You have to look for indicators from around you. It's inside, but also around you. Sometimes the inside, we kind of, you know, we work through personal development. It might be just a fear, but outside of you, something will always present itself that will be your next step. So maybe that step is to join this community. Maybe that step is to hit the button. Maybe that step is to listen to the audio and then, you know, come back and join whoever it is you want to join in the business, right? Whatever that may be. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything with, you know, wrong with just looking at your next step, because it's your next step. It's your journey, right? So just be honest with yourself and take the next step in front of you, right? That's all it really is just constantly accepting that and doing it. So I don't know if I answered the question, Alicia.
Perfectly. Thank you, Kat. We've had some powerful comments come through as you were sharing as well. Shakira is saying again, Kat, the affirmations you were saying daily, did that precede that 34-month mindset shift, or did you do that during that period? Your journey is so inspiring. I can that your level of power is so much more prominent than a year ago.
It was now. It was in the last 3-4 months. That's when I started to really do it. And that was, you know, and I'm going to share something really personal here, because what had happened in my life too was that I had kind of gotten to the point where one of my relationships in my life, I'm going to say it with my mom, got really rocky. And we had experienced a lot of stuff together and had a lot of kind of built up stuff that we hadn't worked through yet. And again, it's that thing like going to your next step, right? It was just things that I had to deal with, things I had to let go of, things that were stopping me also internally, feelings of guilt, like things like that. And I think we all experience these feelings for some time. And it finally came to this point where I was like, I have to deal with this. Like, I have to just face it. I have to resolve this in however way I can. I don't even know how I'm going to resolve it. And I think it was in April, I went back. I went to see my mom in Toronto, and we just worked through stuff, and it helped me to, again, kind of find that ease and flow in life that I was talking about, and to accept the things that were in front of me for quite some time, like, you know, listening to Rhonda Byrne's The Power, just accepting simple principles into my life, like the power of love and affirmations, and that's when I started to really do them. There was a very dramatic shift, because before that, we were building our business and everything, you know, we were following our dreams, we were doing all these things, but I felt like there was a huge disconnect within me. And it's because of that, because I was putting up these blocks about struggle and challenge and things, and it was a lot to do with guilt too. And so when I was willing to take that step, right, everything unfolded before me. I didn't have to know exactly how it would work out. I didn't have to understand everything, right? Sometimes we convince ourselves we have to understand everything before we take a step, but it doesn't work that way. You won't. The only time you'll really understand it is when you look back. That's when you can connect the dots. But sometimes we try, like, you know, beat our heads against the wall and try to understand now how the dots connect, and you just can't. You gotta, it's kind of like that surrender. You give in to faith, you give in to trust, right? And that's what I did. And I just dramatically just shifted everything. I just plugged in the audio, you know, and I listened to audio before, but this was like a whole new level. Like, it was glued to my ears pretty much day and night, okay? And, you know, I think from what I understood that Alicia said, from what Keisha said, you know, there are outside influences, and I was still letting outside influences get too much inside my head, and influences from within me from the past, things I had convinced myself of from the past, right? These things were influencing me still, and the only way to combat that is really to just shut them up and put someone else's voice in there for now that is telling me things that actually are better for me, that things that can help me really change my life and help me to believe that I can really be happy, right? Because it's really about that. That's, I think, the underlying thing to this, right? It's about being happy with yourself, with your relationships, with your life, with your business, right? And so I just underwent this drastic change in my actions, and everything just started to catch up, and everything started to shift. And there was days when I had bad days and cried and all these things, but that was like releasing it. And sometimes we feel like that's a failure moment, but it's not. It's probably like the best thing, because that's when you get lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter, and it actually passes, right? And you just got to work through those feelings and let yourself go through the feelings. Don't stop them. Don't try to suppress them. Don't try to even ignore them and say, I'm just going to do this. Ask yourself, why do you feel that way? Maybe it's something that you just need to face, and that's your next step, right? And I kept doing that. And I kept writing in my journal, and I kept asking myself better questions, right? And my mind just started to change, and my reality started to change even more, right? Maybe on the surface everything was okay, but I still didn't feel that way inside. And so, yeah, I feel completely different. I feel a lot more powerful. I feel a lot more connected to who I am, and happy, like really happy with how my life is going. I'm not perfect, and I know that maybe there's other things I'm going to have to face, and I'm okay with that. But I can now believe, like with certainty, things that I couldn't believe before. And, you know, the funny thing is that when my belief really grew inside myself the past 3-4 months, my belief in other people grew as well. And I know this might sound weird, but I had a belief too that maybe if there was too much challenge and struggle, that's how it had to be for other people in my team. And you know our beliefs are true. If we believe that about our team, it's going to be true, right? So I started to really believe in them, because I understood this love, right, that is within everyone, that everyone can tap into, and anyone can really change their life if they're willing to change their thoughts and willing to, you know, plug in an audio, willing to read certain books that are just going to kind of reprogram you, like really reprogram you, really listen to those things more than anything else. Put them on in your sleep. Listen to them in the morning. Listen to them as you're doing anything, right? Cleaning or driving or whatever it is you're doing, right? So that's all it was. And it was the past like 3-4 months that I did this.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Kat. I was realizing that I had some of those same things with me and my mom as well. So I'm going through the same thing. But it's been different since I have a new boyfriend. It's so weird.
That's fantastic.
I think I pinpoint it back to when we were first, you know, kind of getting back together, but that's all right. So the next comment says, I can't tell how happy I am that, to have found you wonderful women and Keisha's generous help. It's exactly what I need. Thank you so much, beautiful lady souls. It's Amy Lee. Thank you so much, Amy Lee, for watching. Kat, in my view, you're talking about the joys from changes that come from self-therapy. For me, there's nothing more powerful. Thank you so much. And Keisha always says wonderful, brilliant, powerful, and confident self. And then last one, Shakira says, brilliant, powerful work, Kat. Thank you for sharing your journey. You're a shining example of what's possible. Just learned about a new book, Change Your Questions, Change Your Life, Marie Adams. Awesome perspective, Kat, Lisa says. So the comments are just overpowering and wealth of love and so much appreciation to your story and how it can really help us transform life and using that to ourselves. It's like we have to do that. I like what Amy Lee said, like our self-therapy in a way, and it takes that decision that you're deciding to do this for yourself, and that is what's really going to transform you and applying the things that Kat suggested here today. And I really appreciate you sharing that, Kat, and we really thank you for coming out and sharing that. Anything else, Keisha? She's giving lots of love.
Just sending my love.
Thank you guys so much.
I
really appreciate it.
All of our viewers, and giving the feedback, and just really engaging with us and enjoying your powerful story, Kat. We have a special connection, and I love you. So when you hear the replay, you'll hear what I said.
I know. She says, when you hear the replay, Kat, you'll hear her.
Well, I'm going to listen to the replay right after.
I'm sorry you couldn't hear her. I think that's odd on how these hangouts work. It's kind of strange. We need to do this on Blab or something. Figure this out.
I asked Kat to check out my Periscope. I talked about these same things that she just shared last night. So tell her to check it out.
Check out Keisha's Periscope. She shared the same things last night before it goes out, right? How that works. Excellent. Well, thanks, guys. Be sure to connect with each of us and watch the replay. Share this with your friends. Connect with the person who invited you to watch this as well, because we are all here to help each other grow and to our millionaire mindset, as we all said today. So thank you guys for coming, and we'll see you next week for another powerful transformation on the Millionaire Mindset Hangout. Thanks, guys. Bye.
God bless.
Thank you. Bye.